Hello, I'm Brenna from Genially. Welcome to this webinar in which we will discover how to use the online tool Genially to create interactive and animated presentations in a fast and easy way. We will look at the basics, from how to choose a template, to add our own content, apply interactivity and animation, and finally, how to share our creation. We hope that you enjoyed this session. Remember to hit like if you like it. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to our channel to be kept up to date with other webinars we do, as well as lots of other awesome content. You can ask us any questions that you have in the chat during the webinar, and we will answer them live. Ready? I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and let's begin by accessing the creation panel. It's very simple. On the Genially homepage, you're going to click on Login. Here is where you're going to enter your login information. That is the email address and the password that you use to register. Now, if you registered with a connection to a different platform, you can also log on by making use of the single sign-on option, which will take you to the panel directly. So once we log in, next you will see your panel. And we have everything ready to begin. So let's go. Within your panel, you can find lots of interesting options. First of all, with Create Genially. From Create Genially, you can choose from over 1,000 templates, or you can start from scratch with a blank creation. In My Creations, you can access all of, you guessed it, your creations. Now, if you don't have anything created yet, you'll see the different types of creations that you can make. And you can switch between viewing the categories of creations or your own creations by making use of these two options on the left side menu. Now, below them, you have a few other options. In My Brand, you can access premium features such as personalizing your logo, uploading your own graphic resources, colors, and even upload your Google Analytics ID in some cases. That's depending on your plan. You can keep everything under control. In Inspiration, you have access to a wide variety of Geniallys created by users like yourself. Some of them are even reusable so that you can save and edit your own copy. So let the inspiration flow. Finally, at the bottom, you can see the different types of plans that are available, and you can manage your Genially plan. Perfect. Now, we are going to create our first Genially together. When you're ready to start creating, you want to think to yourself, what is the topic of the content that you want to create? What type of content do you want to create? Based on these questions, you can navigate through the 12 categories of creations that are available. Or you can also search for certain keywords using the search function. Now, this word can be related to the topic you're going to develop, for example, science, marketing, books, or it can be the type of creation that you want to make. So infographic, calendar, game. Now, for our first Genially, we are going to make use of a presentation. The presentation templates that are available will help you to effectively transmit your ideas, your stories, and everything else that you want to share with your audience, but with a spectacular design and animation included. So let's scroll through our available templates. Let's see. And today we're going to select the desktop presentation. Now, if you click on it, you can preview the template. And you can see which pages it includes, as well as the pre-designed interactivity and animation that comes with it. So keep in mind that templates are the base over which you're going to add in your own content. And you can be as loyal to the template as you want, or you can personalize it down to the smallest detail, from text to the images, videos, the colors, anything you want. So let's see how to do it. By clicking on Use this template, we can get started with our personalization even before we enter the editor. Here, we can choose which pages that our Genially will have. You can choose pages by clicking on each one, and we'll click Add to start editing. Today, we are going to select all pages. Now, once we're inside the editor, we are going to start by adding our own textual and visual content. There we go. Now, the very first thing that I recommend you doing is naming your creation, which you can do up here in the title bar. This will help you find your creations back in the future when you have lots of awesome things made. Let's call this one My First Genially. Perfect. Now, to edit text, we just have to place our mouse over the text box, click, and then we can add in our own content. We can also personalize our text by utilizing all of the options that are available on the toolbar. We can change the color, the font type, the size, and much more. Now, you'll notice that the options that appear on the toolbar will vary depending on the type of element that we have selected. Look how they change if we select this image here, for example. Let's edit our title to be My First Genially. Great. Now, let's talk about the visual side, the images. When you choose a template to work with, a lot of times you do so because of the aesthetic that it has or because you like the layout of the elements. Be sure to take advantage of the template's design while also giving it that personal touch by replacing images. This option is going to allow you to substitute images and resources that are found in the template for others that are available within the editor or with content that you've created yourself or found online specifically for your Genially. So let's see how to do that. First, you want to place your mouse over the image you want to change and click. Then we are going to click on Replace. Now here, you can search for a new image or you can upload one of your own. Okay, so let's search for what we want to replace. For our desktop, let's put this nice little succulent. Great. Now, once we click Replace, we have the option to adjust the area that we crop so that your image can appear exactly how you want it to, but that it also adapts to the original design. So once you have it how you want it, we're going to click on the blue check and you'll be all set. Now, aside from replacing objects, you can also load your own resources from the main sidebar by selecting either the image or the resources menu, depending on the type of content that you want to add. Now, when you have your first page ready, it's time to move on to the other pages so that we can continue adding our own content. Now, to navigate between the different pages of your creation, we can use the Pages menu from the main sidebar. We just have to click on the page that we want to go to, and then we can edit it. Now, from this same menu, we also have the option to organize our pages so that the navigation through our creation flows and is coherent. Here, you can rearrange your pages, you can duplicate them, delete them, or rename them, as well as adding new pages. So let's see how to do it. For example, to rearrange pages, just click on the page that you want to move, and without unclicking, drag it to the new area and release. Perfect. It's that easy. Now, if you want to create new content in a fast and easy way, you just have to add new pages to your creation. Simply click on Add Page. And as you can see from this menu, you can add new pages from other Genially templates, from creations that you've already made and are in your panel, or from the Genially template that you're currently working with. Here we go. So let's add this page. Great. Now, as an alternative, you can also duplicate a page that you already have in your creation, including all of the content that's on it. In order to do that, you just have to hover over the page and you'll notice this icon that appears. When we click on it, it's going to create an exact duplicate of that page. Now, in order to avoid any confusion, you might want to rename that duplicated page. So in order to do that, you just have to highlight over the name and change the text, for example. Naming pages is especially useful when you make use of the Go to Page interactivity to ensure that you are connecting your pages exactly as you want them to be connected. Perfect. Now, let's talk a little bit about interactivity so that you understand exactly what we mean by it. Interactivity is the way in which we explore digital creations. It allows us to interact with the content in an immersive way, just like we would in real life, intuitively. Let's see what that looks like. Now, unlike the more common editing tools where all information is displayed together on the same slide with a flat layout, interactivity helps us to transmit information in a short, scaled, visually appealing, and a well-distributed way. It allows us to create connections between ideas by uniting different pages with just one click, or distributing the information in different layers of content, such as with tooltips or windows. And they appear when we are interacting with them. So for example, here we go. So on top of that, these layers can be enriched with extra content such as video, audio, virtual tours, images, and so much more. They really act as a way to generate an immersive and explorable environment. Do you want to know how to do it? Let's see. Perfect. Let's go to this page. So what you want to do is click on an element that you have on your canvas, the one specifically that you want to apply interactivity to. You will see that above it, there are two buttons, a hand and a meteor. The hand is the icon for interactivity. When we click on it, we will see the 4 types of interactivity that Genially has available. Or if the element from a template already had interactivity applied to it, you would see what that interactivity is. So let's begin by discovering tooltips. Tooltips are extremely useful for showing a small amount of content, such as a brief amount of text or a few images. When we pass our mouse over an element with this type of interactivity, the content is revealed to us in a new layer. And when we move the mouse, it disappears. This is a tooltip. Now let's preview to see what that looks like. Perfect. Now, the second type of interactivity that we have available is the window. Windows allow us to add much more content since there's no limit to the number of characters that you can add. And just like in tooltips, we can insert text, images, video, documents, tables, and even embed codes from other platforms. What Windows help to do is they help to make our content more accessible and to simplify our communication. Now, in order to make a window appear, I'll show you in 1 second, we have to click on the interactive element. This is a window. Let's see what that looks like. So as I mentioned, in order to make the window appear, we need to click on the interactive element, and we also need to close it to make it disappear. Perfect. Now, Go to Page interactivity gives you the possibility of linking the pages of a Genially together. With this functionality, we can guide our audience to relevant content depending on their decisions or their answers, and thereby create personalized branches or paths. Now, there are various options for Go to Page interactivity, and they are all designed to make our work easier and improve our audience's experience. For example, it's really useful for generating indexes, such as this one, where each tab, as we can see, is connected to its corresponding page. Let's look at another example. So for example, the map tab, we click on interactivity. We can see that it's taking our audience to our page with the map. Okay. Let's see what that looks like in a preview. Perfect. Now, aside from the 3 types of interactivity that we've already mentioned, we also have the option to hyperlink other websites. You can direct your audience to your organization's social media profile, or to your website or blog, or also to a task within your organization or your school's LMS. You can even link to another Genially. This is really great to distribute the information in interactive layers, but it's also equally important that our audience knows where they can find that information. And this is where animation is going to play an essential role. Through the use of animation, we can bring our static content to life using visual effects that captivate our audience. Among other things, it helps us to organize information hierarchically, keeping our audience's attention, making our creations more memorable. And as we mentioned previously, it is the key for indicating that a certain element is interactive. Now, to add animation to our elements, text, resources, we first want to choose which element we want to animate. Okay, so let's animate our thanks text box here. So we just click on it, and this time we want to select the meteor icon. Now, from the menu that appears on the right-hand side, we can select the type of animation that we want to apply among the 4 types that are available. Let's start with entrance animation. This is perfect for adding a sequential entrance that is going to amaze anyone who sees your creation. This type of animation allows us to configure which kind of movement and when an element appears when a particular page of your Genially is loaded. It's super useful when, for example, we have lots of different elements on a page. That way we can improve the visual load and we can increase our audience's interest in our content by spreading out the information. So let's try this thanks text box, the classic fade in animation effect. Perfect. Now, from this menu, we can also personalize our animation even further by setting up the direction, as well as the time when it starts and the speed. So let's have this animation effect begin at 0.2 seconds, and let's see what that looks like. Great. Looks perfect. Now, if we replicate the same animation effect on the rest of the elements on our page, it will be really useful for spreading out the information that we present to our audience. It's also going to be useful to organize hierarchically and to facilitate how the information is assimilated by our audience. To make our job even easier for us, it is possible to copy animation effects and paste them to other elements at the same time. So in order to do that, the first thing that we're going to do is copy the animation effect. And then we're going to select all of the other elements that we want to animate. So here I'm doing multi-select. Perfect. And again, we'll click on the meteor icon to have our animation menu open. And we're going to click on paste. And now we will have those same animation settings applied to all of those elements. Now here it's also possible to vary the time that the different resources appear by clicking on each one individually. Okay. And by doing that, you're going to have an even greater hierarchical organization effect. Now, the opposite animation effect from what we've just seen is exit animation, which means the elements will leave our page in the moment that we decide. This animation type allows us to uncover hidden elements or to simplify our message by keeping only the most important factors visible on the page. This type of animation can also be useful for evaluating alternatives in a presentation, and we can eliminate certain options until we're only left with one. Now, the third type of animation that we find is continuous animation. This is going to be one of our biggest allies when it comes time to emphasize our interactive elements and to persuade our audience to click on them. Now, with this type of animation, our elements will be in constant movement. We recommend that you apply this type of animation when you apply interactivity. In fact, if you make use of the interactive elements available on the main sidebar, right here, for example, let's put it here so you can see it better. You'll see that they have a preset animation that helps specifically with this. So let's select all of our social media buttons, for example, and let's give it a continuous heartbeat effect. Perfect. Now, finally, we have hover mouse animation. This is going to invite your audience to explore and experiment. Some of the effects that are available can make your animated object disappear, change colors, or change size, making this functionality the perfect tool for your gamifications, for your digital escape rooms, or for your digital narration. It's also very useful for the creation of buttons and to indicate the interactivity of an element. As you can see, there are multiple options. We recommend that you try out the different effects by placing your mouse over each option. The element that you have selected will move so that you can preview that animation effect. Okay? Now, remember that animation is cumulative. So you can have an element appear in a specific moment, maintain a continuous animation during a period of time, generate an effect by hovering your mouse over it, and then after a specific amount of time, disappear. Now, keep in mind that we do recommend you use animation in moderation so as not to oversaturate your audience. So now we know how to spread out the information and call attention to it. Now let's see the third Genially functionality that allows us to complement our content and make it even more amazing. Insert. With this functionality, we can embed different types of content within our creation and thereby offer our audience all the content they could ever want, all within the same platform without needing to leave. That way we can really maximize the full potential of the internet and its content. Now we can insert 3 types of content: audio, video, and other external content, which is what we would get from different kinds of web providers. Now, in order to insert content, all you have to do is open the insert menu, select the type of content that you want to insert, and follow the steps on each tab. Let's see a few examples. First, if we want to insert audio from an online platform like Spotify, SoundCloud, or Mixcloud, we just have to paste the corresponding link right here. We can also record our own audio directly within the editor and then adjust the settings. Let's try it out. The first thing we have to do is click on the microphone and start recording. Now remember, you will have a window pop up on your navigator asking for permission to use your microphone. If you don't allow that, then you won't be able to record. So let's do a test to record. This is an audio recording test. Notice that I clicked again to start recording and our audio file appeared directly on the canvas. We can see right here. Now with this feature, it's very easy to narrate your content in order to be even more successful with your communication. You can also see that the audio settings menu will open on the right-hand side where you can further personalize your audio file. Now let's talk about videos. Genially lets us embed videos directly onto the canvas in 2 ways: by using the link from online platforms such as YouTube or Vimeo, or directly from our cloud storage with Drive. We can see these options from the insert menu. Now we can also easily replace a video that comes within a template. So I'm going to go to a different page in my template that has a video in it. Here we go, page 12 has one. Perfect. And I'm going to substitute this video for another one. Now, when we click on it, we can see that just like our audio features, we have settings appear that allow us to personalize the video that we have inserted. From here, we can also replace the video. So I am going to copy a new URL. I'm going to erase the one that's here, paste, and then click on replace. And there we go. It's that easy. We have our new video replacing the old one that came with a template in just a few clicks. Now, this replace option is especially useful in order to keep the design intact. If there was also an animation effect applied, that would also remain there. And remember that when we talked about interactivity, we saw that we can also insert videos within tooltips and windows. Now, finally, we have the ability, here we go, to include content from other online platforms by utilizing the HTML code of the element that we want to embed. The possibilities here are almost unlimited. We can include things like maps, text documents, auto evaluation forms, games, 3D models, explorable 360-degree images, even other Geniallys. Perfect. Now, when we're finished creating, it's time to publish and share our creation with the world. Now, before publishing, our creation is considered in draft form. This is going to be the default status of your creations, and it means that your Genially has not been published online yet, and only the person who is editing has access to it. To publish, we are going to click on All Set in the upper right-hand corner of the editor, and here a menu will open in which we can select different settings depending on how accessible we want our creation to be, and even if we want it to be reusable. Now, when we've selected our options, here we go, we click on All Set, and now our Genially is published. Now, upon publishing the creation, of course, we can see here that a window popped up with 3 options: present, share, and download. The most common way to share your creation is with the link. Let's see how to do it. We just have to click on copy, and we'll copy the URL, and you can paste it into an email. You can share it in a direct message. You can post it on social media. And you also have some other options to share that you can explore by clicking on these other tabs. Okay. Now, if you work together with a team, you should also know that Genially can be integrated into both Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams. So if you work in an educational or professional environment that uses these platforms, we can share our creations with our team really easily from this menu. Okay. Now let's present. So we hope that you've enjoyed this webinar that's been an introduction to Genially. These are only a few of the many actions that you can take within this very versatile tool. We encourage you to just jump in and start creating, and then send us any doubts that you might have. You can also find step-by-step guides in our Help Center. You can learn with our courses and microlearning in the Genially Academy. And of course, you can discover tips and news on our social media and our YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.